Hello and welcome to Warhammer Joey with me, Joey. I'm back. Got my internet, Skype's up and running, videos uploading. Back. Yes. So, it's been about 6 weeks. Had a bit of a hassle with a certain media company that cancelled after waiting for 6 weeks. So I went to another one and I installed the internet myself. Good. Tough. So annoyed. So that was nearly a disaster yesterday when I thought I would have to wait another 7 weeks to get anything done. But no. Far more determined than that. So here we go. On this note, starting a new, small, not too regular, not too irregular segment of Warhammer. And it's to do with a birthday present that I got from my good friend Leslie. One of them, anyway, I'll show you the other at the end. But I'm going to be starting to read some of the Warhammer fantasy novels and talking about them a little bit. No spoilers included, and if they are, I'm very sorry. But I don't think there will be. So, I'm going to read one, maybe do one every couple of weeks and go from there. Nothing too major, just a bit of fun. And yeah, I love them. So after playing quite a few tournaments last year and getting to know the Wood Elf Army book and reading all the character fluff, I noticed I didn't really know a lot about Wood Elves in general, and the best place to really know your army, if you love them, is to read some of the novels that they've got kicking about. So Orion, The Vaults of Winter is book 1 of potentially 3. One coming out this year apparently, Tears of Aisha, and let's see what the other one was. The Council of the Beasts is apparently next year, so let's hope that they come out. So I'll run you, I've not read the entire book because the ending for me is important. I'll tell you why in a bit. So I've read about, I don't know, 2/3 of the book so far. And it's been like a nighttime reading thing, but so far I'm really pleased that I did, because it puts a lot of the characters in a certain light, but it also makes me realise how they should play in the game. There are a few characters that I really love, a few that aren't too touched upon that perhaps should be, and where I want to see the next couple of books focus on. So where I've gotten to so far, as a basic outline of what the story is Orion as a character dies in the winter and is kind of reincarnated in some poor chap every spring. So he's effectively a new person, but with his old memories. And then he meets up with Ariel, they have a bit of a dance party, not a rave, but you know, they have fun. And yeah, so far, the War Dancers, which, by the way, are awesome. If they were anything as cool and as powerful as they are in this book, I'd pick them all the time. But they're not. They're a little bit naff to play with at the moment. But they are so cool in this book. Just the way that they deal with their foes and work as a team. It creates a real family aspect to the War Dancers themselves. But they're trying to get some help because beastmen are somehow invading the forest and trying to get near their central, where people live, their main city. And this is otherwise impossible to do so, because the forest, only if you're one of the elves, really can you navigate the forest, because it's just magic, hidden paths. You've got to be one of the Azrae to even know what you're doing there. So they're all confounded as to how the beastmen are so quickly navigating their secret paths and getting effectively going to destroy. They're central. So one of the war dancers trying to get Orion on board. Orion's a bit of a grump. Was like, I'm Orion. No. He's not really saying no. He's just a bit like, I'm angry all the time. I'm Orion. Come on. Don't ask me for stuff. And everyone's terrified. They crap their pants when they see Orion and his scariness. And, you know, he's on a bit of a mission himself, a personal mission to prove himself as the rightful king, because if he dies, Ariel dies, and it all goes to pot, really. There's also some other side stories of a character conspiring against them, and where does it all lead, and what happens to the beast men? How are they doing this? How are they effectively using the Athel Loren magic of the forest? Because that's what's happening. How are they using the magic to even navigate their way? So there we go. What happens? I don't know yet. I don't know. I will know. Keep an eye on Facebook and Twitter over the next 2 days, because depending on how it ends and whether I like it, will I throw it in the sea? I'm not really near a sea, but I will go to a coast and throw the book in the sea. I've done it before with the DVD that I didn't like the ending of it, so trust me in that will happen. So yeah, I love it so far. It really illustrates the coolness of some of the characters. Just, there needs to be a little bit more Draika for me. As part of, I mean, I know she hates everybody, but even just a little paragraph of Draika and her scariness and hatred for, you know, the elves and stuff. I hope she's touched upon in future books, if not at all in this one. But, you know, with the models, I know that Orion is kind of crap to play with and not worth his points. Whereas, you know, Ariel's not one that you can really play. There is a model for her, and that needs to be redone immediately. Have you seen the Ariel model? Oof. I painted my Spellweaver quite badly, and she looked a little bit Joan Riversy, you know, melty face and a bit too obscure, but oh god, Ariel's like 1990s sculpting face. She's not a pretty lady. No, but the wings, beautiful, the dress, lovely, you know, don't get me wrong, it's just the face. Oh. You know, in the book she's illustrated as the pinnacle of beauty. You know, she's pretty much in the nip, bit nude. Just this long hair that kind of swirls around her and is covering her rude parts. But, you know, she needs to be stunning, you know, to look at, not like, you know, you take it out of your case and you turn it away from you so you don't have to look at her. She's just not very nice looking. So she needs to be redone and integrated, perhaps as a duo ship between Orion as a character to play with and Ariel as well, that they give balance. So, you know, he's just totally mental when he fights with his hounds and his riders, and he is nuts. They do illustrate quite well how he is just totally off his rocker. That, you know, he gets angry, and everyone, you know, when he walks around and looks at people, they all like, oh, you know, and then you'd think that Ariel would be like, oi, be nice, come on, stop it, stop being mean, don't hit your friends, come on, we all love you here. But no, she's just like, oh, you, crazy, hold people up by their necks and stuff, that's fine, you know, and they all fawn over each other, and it illustrates the complexity of how other people view the king and queen of the forest, that some are just like, they're pretty useless, they don't do anything. And it's, I think, perhaps for me, that's what the war dancers are trying to do by bringing Orion in, just like, look, if you dealt with this, it would be done. But he's a little bit like, fine, well, no, I don't care. You know, he's just all about himself and his self-worth. So perhaps there's still room for character growth of Orion. He's not such a grumpy grump. I don't know. But I'm loving it. I really recommend it for Wood Elf lovers if you haven't read them. Even if you're not too much of a reader. It's not really complex to grasp. There's a few different storylines that go on. But I'd like to see how they all linked together. But, you know, I love it. I love it. So Orion Vaults of Winter, yes. Twitter and Facebook over the next couple of days for if it turns into a no. Because it might end up in the sea. Sorry, Leslie. That's how I read. There's also, the next two that I've got going on are The Great Betrayal, which looks to me as dwarves. He's got a nice beard, an axe and everything, and some plaits in his very ginger beard. And then The Age of Legend, Vampire Counts. Because of this dude, I'm just going to assume that it is. So which for next? Which shall I go for? Dwarves or vampires? I don't know. I've never been too keen on the fluff of either, but I don't really know that much about them. If either of these are your favourites, why? And if it's none of these, but fantasy, please, first, I'll talk about the 40k ones on the 40k Friday videos. You know, which are your favourite fantasy novels and why, basically. And if not, which ones do you hate? Because they don't fit with anything that you believe that your army should be. But yeah, I'm going to do these every now and then. Once I get them read, now I've got these ones, I should get out a couple of videos over the next few weeks, really. Won't take me long to read them, quite a fast reader. But yeah, love it. Really hoping to get all the intricacies of the army, and I know not every character can be, you know, focused on, but there's a lot of hierarchy in this book as well. You get to see how the highborns are viewed and the lowborns, I guess, and how they're kind of sneered upon, like the war dancers. But favourite character, war dancers. Oh, so cool. Honestly, the way that they're described is just like they are such a close-knit family, leaping about the forest, singing to wind up their foes, you know, to make them confused. And it's amazing. I love them. Word of the book so far, I think about 6 or 7 times have I read the word undulating. It's not a word that I hear very often. So it really stuck out for me, but every now and then I was like, undulating, I'm going to use that word again? Okay. Seems to fit. But yeah, it was really strange. Try and use undulating today, or whenever you watch this video, in just random conversation. Was undulating with desire. What film is that from? Do you know? I know. But yeah, quite a peculiar word, so I'm probably going to pick out a word of each of the books I read and just be like, that was pretty odd. But love it. Love, love, love it. So yeah, book for next week. Good to be back. Like if you like this, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you probably tomorrow. I'm going to get a lot of videos done now. Bye. Bilbo and Gandalf, where's your staff? I think I lost it. Let's find the dwarves. Oh yeah. Hey James Nesbitt, nice hat. Where's the pretzel gone? Where's the pretzel? Oh, he's holding a baguette. Look how cool that is.